It's time! It's time! It's podcast time!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very strange episode of Muta Scale Radio. We're almost going to call this, I can't really call it Muta Scale Live because they're technically all live because when I record them, I'm live when I record them. But I pre-recorded for you, so I guess it doesn't count as live. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm rambling because I'm in my car currently on my way back from my buddy Scott's house after having just watched Great Balls of Fire. And I'm only doing this... Sorry, I just fucking hit the mic. I'm fucking so unprofessional in this shit. That is a nice car. Anyways, so I'm only doing this because, well, to be perfectly honest, I'm frustrated. I'm flustered. I'm somewhat flabbergasted. I'm fucked off. Any kind of F exclamation that you can come up with, really. Futtoact. I'm just... Oh! Look, I'll give you the full rundown of the actual event tomorrow, because I do want to be somewhat professional about it and actually give you my honest, open opinions. But given that this is fresh, and this is, in real time frustration and fury, I'm going to fucking break into this right now. The event will probably get about a C... pretty much a C standard from me, because there were a lot of good spots and a couple of decent matches. The ladies' match was fucking awesome, and I could not be happier to say that I love women's wrestling. Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss need to wrestle all the goddamn time. I mean, I'm a fucking Oscar mark, and I love Sasha Banks, and I love the women's division right now. Even the weak links are good, except for Dana Brooke. That's irrelevant. That's not even a link. That's not a weak link. That's not there. That's just what it was so good. I mean, the ending fell a little flat on me, but it wasn't a terrible ending because the heel endings for the fucking win, ladies and gentlemen. Eye pokes and low blows and just cheap shots. It was all fucking the heels being smarter and craftier than the faces, and that's awesome. Because as a former heel wrestler and a huge fan of heel wrestling, I love seeing heel spots come into play. The one area that I really would have appreciated a heel spot, though, is the main event. Brock Lesnar against Samoa Joe. Now, big match. Hype. I was 50-50 on this match, in that 50% of me thought it was going to be a fucking debacle, and 50% thought this match might actually be pretty fucking good. Well, I'd have to say I was about 50-50 on it, because the first 50% of the match was awesome. But that fucking ending just sent me through the fucking roof. Like, we didn't even get to introduce Brock Lesnar fully because Joe jumped him. Joe has been making it his fucking mission to jump Brock Lesnar. And on one hand, we're selling that as Joe is ready to fight. And that's awesome. Joe wants to fight. Joe wants to beat Lesnar and prove to him that he is not just some bum. It's not some fucking goon that doesn't belong in the main event picture. His whole purpose is to show everybody that he's there to fight, and fight he will. So, that's great. The problem is it makes him look dastardly and a tiny bit cowardly that he rests on, cheap shots by jumping Brock from behind. And I mean, as a resident Samoa Joe fan and Brock Lesnar less than fan, I like the jumps, I do, and I appreciate them for what they're worth. And there is a level of intelligence to it, given that when you come head on to Brock, you are taking on a fucking mammoth of a man, an absolute behemoth that you don't really want to try to run through. But Joe did. Joe fucking jumped him, threw him out of the ring, beat the fuck out of him, gave him a uranagi through a goddamn announce table, and I was like, holy shit, folks, we gotta fight. Yeah, boy. I was so excited to get back in the ring, and Joe's whomping him, and I'm like, yay! They're throwing fists at each other and knees and headbutts. And they're showing how much of a big fight this is going to be. And then comes the fucking... then comes the released German tosses. They're not fucking suplexes, but whatever. And welcome to Suplex City, bitch. Gets him with 3, and then he manages to weasel his way out of them. And, oh man, his way of getting out of one with a fucking low blow. Loved it! I know I said something about, the heel finishes being an issue and everything, but that to me is not a heel finish. That's a heel way to get out of a tricky situation. And I'm all for that. I enjoyed every minute of that. So he gets out of that, and then we have the battle of the suplex versus the coquina clutch. Well, the F5, I guess, versus the coquina clutch. Because we've got the coquina clutch getting applied 2-3 times and cinched in pretty tight. We look and we're like, Brock's fading. Brock is fucking fading. Look at him, he's turning purple. He's going out. He's going out, ladies and gentlemen. And then he gets out of it somehow. And then he's going out. He's going. And he went out. He got out of it again. Sets him up for the F5. He manages to wiggle out of it and gets him back into the coquina clutch. And we did a great job of selling that the coquina clutch is the beast killer. It is the holy sword. It is exactly what you need to take out a monster in this case. And they did a fantastic job of selling that that's what it is. The problem is, after choking the life out of him on 3 separate occasions, all it took was 6 German suplex tosses and 1 F5. 1. Roman Reigns has gone through matches with Brock Lesnar where he has taken more than 1 and come out of it. And he didn't almost choke the life out of Brock Lesnar. Dean Ambrose took more than 1 F5 after doing next to nothing to Brock Lesnar. Now, I get that the Beast is the Beast, but that is not a good showing to me. That doesn't show the positivity that you're trying to inspire with all of this bullshit about, you gotta give Samoa Joe all the credit in the world. He looked like a true contender tonight. And you can feel the people in the back pissing through the fucking microphones, telling the fucking guys talking commentary to puff him up. Just fluff the fuck out of Joe. Talk about how he's a contender, guys. He is the real deal. He is going to be so amazing, and he has a bright future. And look at him. He's still staring down the champion, even after he went down. He just made a slight error in judgment, and that's all that it took. But he will be back. And they're just all of the shit talking about, like, you can just hear them. They're all scrambling to be like, not for nothing, but you gotta give Samoa Joe all kinds of credit. He gave it to the Beast like nobody else has. He almost looked like he had him a couple of times. You really gotta just celebrate the fact that he... Do I? Because from where I'm sitting, in front of the fucking TV, I know, fucking armchair quarterback over here, but from where I'm sitting, it was bullshit. I would have been okay with a couple of F5s in a row. Like a sign that Brock is taking Joe seriously. That he legitimately thinks this guy is a problem. He might hurt me if I don't put him down now. So I'm going to F5 him, then pick him up and F5 him again, then pick him up and F5 him again, then pick him up and F5 him again. Something to show that you are legitimately afraid. If you're going the route that you took of riding out the storm of getting slugged around a little bit, thrown through a table, beaten up, and choked borderline unconscious 3 goddamn times, and all it takes is a fucking F5 and the match is over. That's bullshit. That, to me, is a slightly glorified enhancement match. Well, you gotta give Joe all the credit, as he looked like a legitimate contender. He came in there and he gave Brock Lesnar a run for his money. I gotta tell you that it was fantastic to watch him get in there and do his thing. It was great. He almost put him at it a couple of times. You could clean a quick. We have never seen the Beast go through anything like this. We have not... Buy the network for $9.99! Why? Why am I going to give you a cent of my hard-earned money? By the way, I do have a subscription to the network, so they are getting my hard-earned money. So this is kind of an irrelevant rant. But bear with me. I'm an angry, fat wrestling nerd. And I want to say what I want to say. You don't deserve my money if you are going to sell that this guy is a legitimate contender only to turn around and take a fucking shit on him. I was going into this okay with the fact that Brock was going to win as long as Joe looked like a potential champion. Joe is beating the piss out of people, and he has left devastation in his wake, so he does look like a champion. All you have to do is watch his tenure in NXT, and you know he can be a champion. So why did we need Brock Lesnar to fucking push that? We technically didn't, but it was great that we were going to get it. Or were we? Brock Lesnar's going to the back saying, I don't want this thing to be a one and done. I think this is a big money feud. I want to keep going with this. That's fine. Barry Reigns, please. I'm fucking sick and tired of that asshole. So much so that I don't even want to talk about him on my show anymore. I'm only talking about him now because that was the thing. The new hotness. That Joe is out after this match and Reigns was in. Reigns was going to fucking beeline to SummerSlam and take on the Beast Incarnate and beat him for the belt so that we could have whatever the fuck we're going to do. And, I mean, for WrestleMania. And good for you. Brock is willing to put people over when he sees that it makes sense and when it's the right time. So why didn't he put over Joe? Joe didn't need to win. I would have I'd settled for a double countout. I would have settled for a DQ. Like Brock was so afraid that Joe might hurt him or do something really bad to him that he got himself DQ'd. But no, it was the fucking Super Cena. It was the Samoan Superman Roman Reigns. It was, I'm gonna get beat within an inch of my goddamn life, and then I'm gonna hit you with my fucking all-powerful nuclear bomb of a signature move, and you're going out. I don't care that you look like $1 million, even though you don't. Ending Joe's push like that is essentially making him look like $1.25, please. It's garbage. It fucking soured what to me was a passable event. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of letdowns throughout the night, but nothing so severe as to make me genuinely think, why? Why did you do this to me? I shed a genuine tear watching Enzo and Cass embrace every single time they played it. But even that made me say, I love watching wrestling. WWE's product is fantastic. This is just another in a long line of travesties happening in the main event fucking scene on Raw. This is another in the fucking list of the worst goddamn ideas WWE can come up with. I do preach a lot about the big picture, the long term, things like that. But if you're going to celebrate the long term, don't make the short term look like a fucking... I can't even put it into words. Irritation. Just think about something, for fuck's sake. You sourpuss old fucking cunt. Methuselah living in the fucking past. You fucking are stuck on the fact that because this fucking asshole is fucking gigantic, juiced to the tits, and meant something somewhere to somebody who I don't give a shit about. Because of that, he gets to one and done over this guy. I know there's going to be fucking podcasts in this week saying, well, why don't you wait until Raw? Did you see what he did on Raw? I think that maybe you want to sit back and listen to and just pay attention to the big picture. I think if you pay attention to the big picture, you'll see that Samoa Joe is going to look like a star. By the way, that's not the best Jim Ross impression, but that's going to have to do for the time being. And I'm not doing a bad impression on him like I'm insulting him. Yes, that was a little bit mocking. I'll admit that. But again, ride this out. I'm a little irritated. Yes, and somebody's going to sit there and be like, oh, cry. You mad, bro? Are you mad, bro? You mad because your pretend fighter lost to another pretend fighter in a pretend sport with made-up outcomes? Mind you, if you think that way about wrestling even in the slightest, you're not listening to my podcast. And if you are listening to my podcast, please go chug some bleach and go fuck yourself. It doesn't have to be in that order. It can be in either order. Go fuck yourself with something dipped in bleach. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't know why I'm yelling at you. You're not a part of this. You're no fucking relevance to this situation. I'm making up exclamations at this point. Agitated. And I'm sorry that I'm taking it out on your ear holes. I've been told a few times this weekend that passion is great and people like passion, so I'm giving you fucking passion. I've also been told to cut out the bullshit. If I cut out the bullshit with WWE, I'm only talking to you for 5 goddamn minutes. That's not an insult to those that gave me constructive criticism. That's not. I promise you, I appreciate all of it. I love every single one of you that listen to me just blurt nonsense. Once, twice, 3 times a week. I appreciate it. I'm just right now, I'm dealing with similar contempt to what I had when Reigns beat The Undertaker, or when The Undertaker beat Bray Wyatt, or when Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker. Brock Lesnar is sort of one of the primary contributors to my hatred of the current sport. Sport, quote unquote. Can you hear my fucking quotation fingers going? My God, are they going? Just, it's irritating. They will have an opportunity to try to win me over again because I don't know, but I'm really hoping that it's not actually one and done. I'm hoping Reigns is stuck in a long-term feud with Strowman, so he's not in the title picture. Joe doesn't even need to win the belt off of Brock. He just needs to look good. He looks pretty good right now because he's definitely had Brock Lesnar on the ropes. And I enjoy that. But I don't enjoy him having him on the ropes to turn around and have him get buried after one goddamn move. What is the reasoning behind that? Well, Brock is not afraid to let people go over in the situation when the situation calls for it. So the situation didn't call for it. You're going to go to the brass, Brock, and tell them that you love the fact that this has got a big money feel to it, and this looks like it's a legit thing. You're, in love with the way this is, and you want to push this over you versus Roman Reigns. If you're going to do to Reigns what you did tonight to Joe, I want you in a feud with Reigns right fucking now. Because I want to see you fucking steamroll him. You buried the wrong fucking Samoan, you fuck! God damn it, it's not Brock's fault. He's getting a fucking paycheck to do what he's being told to do. It's not his fucking fault. Can't hate on him for it. I can hate on him for a lot, but I can't hate on him for this. This was obviously a decent chunk of the backstage. Just, why did it have to be 1F5? 1F5, he kicks out. Or 1F5, he rolls out of the ring. Joe got in maybe 3 to 6% more offense, more effective offense. Like, he got in 100% more effective offense than Goldberg. But he only got in maybe, I'd say 10%. 10% more offense in this match than Goldberg did at WrestleMania. That is promoting him. That is putting him over. That is making him look like a fucking superstar. That's making him look like a fucking $1 million. Really? If getting punched in the ass with a glove dipped in glue and fucking salted glass counts as getting made to look like $1 million, I think I'd rather be broke. Yes, the hyperbole is strong in this case. I'm aware that it was nowhere near that bad. And maybe I'm going to find out that half of the reason why the match got cut so short was because of the goddamn Strowman and Reigns segment, because we needed to fucking milk the shit out of that. Strowman booked to fucking look strong and stupid, because, that's pretty much, that's it. That is his gimmick. He's an absolute monster that can't count to 5. That's what I love in my fucking superstars. I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura, that guy can't speak much English, and he sounds kind of silly when he does it. So we're obviously not going to put him over. But did you see that Strowman? Did you see how aggressively he played with that rattle? My God. I mean, he spit his pacifier out. He was so aggressive. He was so over everything. He had to take his pacifier out and drop his blankie so that he could tell you, fucking enough already. We're gonna drag out shit with Roman Reigns for a fucking decade. And Samoa Joe's gonna get 35 goddamn seconds of fucking star power. Guys, he looks like a superstar to me. He really does. Did you see all of the tweets? Did you see the WWE Universe saying that they hope Joe doesn't? When you have a guy that is so over, he's in the ring with Brock Lesnar, people continue to clap for Lesnar, saying Suplex City, clap, 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 and shit. You don't hear any of that. You get Joe, 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 Joe. You get the fucking entire stadium saying, Joe's gonna kill you. And what do? You spank that ass. You spank him right on that ass. And you say, better luck next time, champ. You did good. You did good. Anyways, I think I've had enough of fucking shredding my throat. Irritated. Almost home. It's also getting kind of hot in this car, and I don't want to roll down the windows because that's going to make a lot of noise. Listen. The hills are alive with the sounds of bullshit. There's a fat kid, he's running his mouth on the internet. Don't ask me what I'm singing, just randomly thought of it. Angry WWE and all of their bullshit. Don't think I could carry a tune if you gave me a bucket. Does this count as jumping the shark? Is this going too far? Have I absolutely finally shit the bed? I don't know. Tune in next week to find out. You don't actually have to. Like, for all I know, this is going to turn into my fucking swan song. I don't know if we've established this yet with listening to Josh talk for a few weeks, but Josh has a bit of an insecurity problem. I carry myself with a fat head, but that fat head tends to be looking at the ground all the time. And this is by no means me trying to beg for sympathy. It's not. I brought this on myself, and I willingly did it. Because I love wrestling. And I love talking about wrestling. I love sharing my thoughts and my opinions and my views with all of you. Whether there's 2 or 22. I love sharing it. And I love knowing that people are listening. I just feel bad for those listening to this one because it flew off the handle for no good goddamn reason. It's okay, I'm coming to my senses a little bit. That being said, I think this is going to be it. So, until the next time, when I break down the rest of the event, give you my high points and my low points, give you my grade. By the way, I threw out the podcast idea about this last week, not necessarily for any reason other than schedule conflicts and just overall fury with the product. Like, the pay-per-view tonight just, it put the nail in the coffin and made me decide this was it. This had to be it for me for this week's podcast. I'm not going to be able to do one talking about Raw and SmackDown. Though I'm going to say, because I've said it 100,000 times, not literally, but you know what I mean. Hyperbole. I'm going to say, if you have not watched NXT from this week, go fucking watch it. And also, get hyped, because I'm planning on watching G1 Climax, the New Japan Pro Wrestling event that happened last weekend. I'm going to watch as much of it as I can, though I've been told it's around 8 hours. That's a lot. So I might have to skim off the top and watch like the 2 or 3 best matches from night 1 and night 2. But I'm going to watch them. And then me and your favorite Bacon are going to get together soon, and we're going to talk about it. So huzzah! Huzzah! I'm getting together with Bacon, and we're going to talk shit on the product. We're going to talk about the better product, which is the Japanese product, which, let's face it, Japanese make better products than we do here in America. Drink it! Drink it! Seriously, folks. Stay tuned, because there's going to be more stuff coming down the pipeline. Some, I can guarantee it's going to be mediocre as fuck. So, this is Mr. NSFW, being very NSFW. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for any and all constructive criticism. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Nobody's commented yet, but that's fine. Thank you for dealing with me and all of my BS. And from everybody here, just me, at Muta Scale Radio, don't bother gigging, because we cut deep. Join us next week for more breakdowns of the weekly events, and hopefully for some bacon slathered all up in this mother. So once again, I love everybody. Have a good night. Mr. NSFW out.
Find the network for 9.99.